organs, digestive and pelvis system, upper limbs and lower limbs, anatomy, lower and upper limbs. So these are the upper limbs of the body, and these legs are the lower limbs of the body. Each have its own anatomy, and all of the muscular system, skeletal system, movement position. So these all have the different specific positions and anatomy, as well as structures and functions. So after it is the lower limb anatomy, head and neck anatomy, and all the major organs present in it, skin layers, etc. Central nervous system, brain anatomy, cranial and special senses. So first, so let's look at the brain anatomy related to what the brain really is, so that we can have a basic understanding and overview of the um, anatomy of the and brain anatomy. So let's look at the first video related to what the brain anatomy really
Imagine
is.
conducting every part of your research only on one platform. Meet Borium.
The human brain is divided into three major parts. The cerebrum, the largest part of the human brain. The cerebrum enables sensory perception and controls voluntary motor actions. The cerebellum. The cerebellum lies inferior to the cerebrum at the back of the head. It is mostly involved in coordination of movements and fine-tuning of motor activities. The brainstem. The brainstem is located at the base of the brain and is continuous to the spinal cord. It houses all nerve connections between different parts of the central nervous system. The brainstem provides innervation to the head and neck via cranial nerves. It also contains nuclei associated with important body functions such as regulation of blood pressure, respiration, swallowing, bladder control, sleep cycle, amongst others. On top of the brainstem, and sometimes classified as part of it, is the diencephalon. The main components of the diencephalon are the thalamus. The thalamus serves as a gateway relaying sensory signals originated throughout the body to the cerebral cortex. It is also involved in emotional and memory functions. The hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is the major control center of the autonomic nervous system and plays a central role in homeostatic regulation. The hypothalamus links the nervous system to the endocrine system via the pituitary gland. It also contains nuclei involved in regulation of body temperature, food and water intake, sleep and wake cycle, memory and emotional behavior. The cerebrum consists of two cerebral hemispheres. The left hemisphere controls the right half of the body. The right hemisphere controls the left half of the body. The two hemispheres are separated by a deep groove called the longitudinal fissure. Each hemisphere has a number of folds called gyri, separated by grooves called sulci. A major landmark is the central sulcus. The cerebrum has four major lobes. The frontal lobe is situated anterior to the central sulcus. It is associated mainly with voluntary motor functions, planning, motivation, emotion, and social judgment. Posterior to the central sulcus is the parietal lobe. This lobe is mainly concerned with sensory functions of the somatosensory category, such as touch, stretch, movement, temperature, and pain. The temporal lobe is separated from the frontal and parietal lobes by the lateral sulcus. The temporal lobe is associated with hearing, learning, visual memory, and language. The occipital lobe is located at the rear of the cerebrum. This is the visual processing center of the brain. At first glance, the two hemispheres look identical, but research has found a number of differences between them. This is called lateralization of brain function. For example, the language formation areas, the Wernicke's and Broca's areas, are usually located in the left hemisphere of right-handed people. Lesions to these areas result in language comprehension deficits or speech disorders. The corresponding areas in the right hemisphere are responsible for emotional aspects of language. Lesions to these areas do not affect speech comprehension and formation, but result in emotionless speech and inability to understand the emotion behind the speech, such as sarcasm or a joke.
So it was the basic anatomy of the head and neck, and we will one by one cover all of the organs that are involved in the head and neck anatomy. In the head and neck and the neuroanatomy, membranes, meninges, blood supply, cerebrovascular fluid, ventricles, development of the nervous system in the first 18 years of the human body, normal and abnormal development, microscopic anatomy, nerve tissue, nerve ganglion, different parts of brain, spinal cord, radiological anatomy, CT scan, MRI scan, applied anatomy, development of the nervous system, applied anatomy, and all the diseases and abnormalities of the neuroanatomical system related to it. So here all are the discuss here. Philosophy, second subject is the philosophy. So let's dive into what the philosophy really is. Silent general philosophy. Human status is a condition maintained by the body to maintain its normal position. Blood philosophy and all the diseases related to it, and anemia, thalassemia, leukemia, AIDS, allergy, clotting disorder, blood grouping, matching and significance, nerve and muscle, cardiovascular system, respiratory system philosophy, digestive system, nervous system philosophy, special senses, experimental hematology, cardiovascular system. So let's dive into the first look at the neurophilosophy. Neurophilosophy, Philosophy. Neurophilosophy. One second, neurophilosophy, nervous system, cardiovascular system philosophy. Let's look have a basic overview. Cardiovascular philosophy. Cardiovascular philosophy. I am looking at the animation of the cardiovascular philosophy. Cardiovascular philosophy, animation. Looking at the animation of the overview of the cardiovascular system, overview of the cardiovascular system, cardiac cycle. Let's dive into the anatomy of the heart. This medical media, it is one of the informational channel to learn all about the basics of the medical, and one is one of the best. Yes, medical media.
Your heart is an extraordinary machine. During your lifetime, your heart's muscular walls pump blood into blood vessels branching throughout your body. Your heart has 4 chambers. 2 upper chambers, called the left and right atria, and 2 lower chambers, called the left and right ventricles, contract in a steady rhythm known as your heartbeat. During a normal heartbeat, blood from your tissues and lungs flows into your atria, then into your ventricles. Walls inside your heart, called the interatrial and interventricular septa, help keep the blood on left and right sides from mixing. 2 valves sit like doors between your atria and ventricles to prevent blood from flowing backward into your atria. The tricuspid valve opens into your right ventricle, and the bicuspid valve, also known as the mitral valve, opens into your left ventricle. Strong, thin tissues, called chordae tendineae, hold your valves in place during the forceful contractions of your ventricles. Blood leaving the ventricles passes through another set of valves, the pulmonary valve between your right ventricle and pulmonary trunk, and the aortic valve connecting your left ventricle and aorta. In order to pump blood more efficiently, your heart muscle, called myocardium, is arranged in a unique pattern. 3 layers of myocardium wrap around the lower part of your heart. They twist and tighten in different directions to push blood through your heart. When special cells, called pacemaker cells, generate electrical signals inside your heart, the heart muscle cells, called myocytes, contract as a group. Your heart is divided into left and right halves, which work together like a dual pump. On the right side of your heart, deoxygenated blood from your body's tissues flows through large veins called the superior and inferior vena cava into your right atrium. Next, the blood moves into your right ventricle, which contracts and sends blood out of your heart to your lungs to gather oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide. On the left side of your heart, oxygen-rich blood from your lungs flows through your pulmonary veins into your left atrium. The blood then moves into your left ventricle, which contracts and sends blood out of your heart through the aorta to feed your cells and tissues. The first branches off your aorta are the coronary arteries, which supply your heart muscle with oxygen and nutrients. At the top of your aorta, arteries branch off to carry blood to your head and arms. Arteries branching from the middle and lower parts of your aorta supply blood to the rest of your body. Your heart beats an average of 60 to 100 beats per minute. In that 1 minute, your heart pumps about 5 quarts of blood through your arteries, delivering a steady